EDG is the most disrespectful team in Valorant. Whoa, put the pitchforks down. This isn't that kind of video. During the grand finals of Champs Seoul, EDG did something diabolical. They stole a comp that Team Heretics created on Sunset and absolutely bodied them with it. They embarrassed Heretics on their best map, completely robbing their momentum and snowballing them to China's first world title in Valorant. It was one of the most BM things I've ever seen in my life. How was EDG able to easily destroy one of the best teams in the world on their best map in a meta they created? In this video, we're gonna break down exactly how Edward gamed Team Heretics on Sunset with their own comp. Context: this was the second map of the best of 5 grand finals. Team Heretics started off great on map 1 with a decisive win on Haven 13-6. It was also a mirror matchup, so it was unquestionably a team diff of great proportions. Things were looking kind of free for EMEA's best with many glaring mistakes from EDG. Despite EDG making grand finals, many people were doubters still, some claiming that it was a fluke they even made it this far. I'm some too, I'm not gonna lie. I doubted, and a part of me felt like it was a miracle run, even after they took down some of the best teams in the world. But after doing a deep review, I'm a firm believer that EDG is cooking. Anyways, enough yapping, it's time to eat a succulent Chinese meal. It starts off pretty vanilla. Team Heretics do the meta one way in A main with KO Knife from Wu to help set up Elder Boo on the A line. Now, as long as Boo is here, Team Heretics can lean towards B and mid and stay stacked there until Boo is pushed back. Meanwhile, EDG takes B main control with the KO Knife that scans no one and a Cypher cam in mid. Normally, the defending Cyphers are usually at B, so EDG is here to bully the gadgets and dismantle the setup. They know they can't speed up with only 3 players since Team Heretics will be fully stacked here. So they hide and they wait. If EDG wants to end B, they have to push back the deep A line. And that's what Chichu and Smoggy are here to do. But a great response from Team Heretics. They throw a cross-map KO Knife which confirms the A pressure was a misdirect, allowing them to stay stacked on B site. Surely EDG is screwed here, right? I think most teams would have flopped here. But this is part of EDG's charm. Even if they get out macroed, you still need to out-aim them on sites. Trades happen, and it ends on a 2v2 between the Boo Bros and the Simon Express.
Players are getting brutalized, trying to enter their way in through this site with 15 seconds left to spare. EDG, Simon forced to stick this paranoia. It's picture perfect. Boo is low, hearing it. Top of the gun. Chichu's there with a flash in his face. Still tied up close to the corner. Boo in that 1v1. Chichu.
A great start to EDG's snowball. Same exact start in round 2. A B main default with Cypher cam in mid and Omen holding A push and listening to what's happening at A. They advance a little to harass Benji Fishy again. They end up exchanging ult orbs on both sides. A simple show B and end A late. Nothing too crazy, but check out EDG's aggressive hold in the post plant. They know they have better guns and they aren't letting Heretics have any room for free. Sometimes it's not only about winning, it's about making a statement. We aren't scared of you.
Heretics falling here. Too much available in terms of options that they can go for. The firepower, the weaponry, not quite there in this round.
And keeping it superbly clean. Yeah. Nothing lost at all. The flawless.
I might be having deja vu because this is the same start for EDG again, but with a small twist. This time, Omen isn't towards A. He's here with the team, and so will Cypher soon. I love this by EDG. Normally, when teams are in an econ disadvantage, they need to leverage it somehow. A well set up 5-player hit is a great way to do it. If you can overrun a site effectively, you can trade numbers and eventually have your remaining players all equipped with rifles, evening out the odds. But you don't want to be too obvious or you get punished quickly. Team Heretics is also starting to adapt. They've been losing B early, so they decide to do a deep smoke with KO Knife to establish forward control. A great response to the B site Zerg meta, but it only scanned 2 people. The same 2 people that have started here every round so far. So there are no alarms going off for Team Heretics yet. It looks like a normal attack default. Also, EDG's KO Knife didn't scan anyone, so they know the initial space is free, and the Sova Dart scan, so they brute force. Silently. As soon as they make contact, it's go time. There's no turning back. They don't have control anywhere else on the map. They're all in. They immediately execute B with great utility, allowing Kangkang to scale, but he falls to Benji's traps. A nice adjustment from Fishy. Wu makes a solo play through smoke, but Rians is still behind smoke at spawn. A massive cohesion problem for Heretics here. There must have been some kind of miscomp because they seemed very disconnected. I also love EDG's idea here, to brawl close to smokes with their SMGs and bad guns. Anyways, hop on the train cause it's Chi-Chu time.
Benji tries to reset with the aim. Actually dropped down to his knees. Chi-Chu! He's taking chunks out of him. Minibu now revealed off! And heads popped off. Chi-Chu's not stopping. Who's left to do it all in a 1v3? And feeling it now! Empowered by that performance.
This is a perfect example of capitalizing off early conditioning by using the same round start you've had for the past 2 rounds. Also, it definitely helps to have some of the best aimers.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Please strap in. This is going to be the fastest checkmate you've ever witnessed.
And no, I'm not talking Magnus Carlsen. Don't blink or you're going to miss it. 3,
You're right, we have
2,
seen it in the past.
1.
Minibu with his ult here looks to try to take the fight. 0 point broken as well, so still has access to that ult, those abilities. And with the nade being thrown on the B side of the map and Minibu not being turned off, they want no part of it.
Yeah, EDG all the way up through mid as well. This time it might not be anticipated.
Damn, they were in their spawn by 126. The spot where they buy guns. And round was over by 116. That was insane on so many levels. Let's rewind and break that down one step at a time. EDG throws the same KO knife they've been using every round. This is known as masking, a way to hide the initial spread by showing similar utility, keeping the defense clueless. Team Heretics are sick of EDG abusing their B main early at this point. No fake util this time, they're itching for a fight. Simon sees the utility. Sova Dart, Raise Nade, Omen Flash. 3 fighting B. He's probably yelling to nobody. To somebody? His teammate? Nobody? This is confusing. Anyways, the thing about 5-player attack shooters is that if you show your 3-core early on defense, it leaves many weaknesses on the map. In this example, the 3-core is fighting B, obviously. This leaves a max of 2 players to hold top mid and A. EDG's really tapped in on that. That's why when they see the fight in B, they insta-call a split A through top mid without hesitation. They abuse the Neon movement to brute force trades on the top mid player. Now, even if Benji Fishy did get the kill here, they would have traded easily. Meanwhile, Cypher and Sova are in A main, caging off elbow and pathing towards lane so they can all converge on the last player they know is around here somewhere. They all meet up in front of the smoke seamlessly. Wu looks like he's trolling by pushing into the smoke, but it's easy to miss that nobody darted the site through smoke before they all brute forced it together.
And Wu needs to try and make the play. Attempt to dominate the angle. Let's retake.
So they instantly call an A split.
This macro and micro level that EDG is showing in this round is crazy, guys. I can't stress it enough. There are no flaws, no gaps. They make it look so easy too. A true, genuine checkmate in the highest pressure match of the year against the best of the best without skipping a beat and maintaining perfect spacing the entire time. Wow. Heretics' raw aggression got punished easily by EDG last round. You can tell they've opted for a more tame approach this time. EDG, on the other hand, switches their opener. They're showing a default utility now. KO knife on the wall to scan site players in the elbow walk-up. Neon wall to deny vision from lane. Sova dart towards A-Link. The KO knife scanning Omen and elbow, and the Sova dart getting broken in Link lets EDG know there are at least 2 players here. Then they hear Woot's flash land in A main, announcing that Team Heretics is most likely back to a standard A setup. Remember, the standard setup on this map for defenders is to establish the A line, allowing the rest of the players to reinforce top mid and B. Wu brute forces the A line, kinda crazy for someone who's Owen, but they need the risk since they're in an economy disadvantage. Chi-Chu's also 10-0, so he's happy to hunt for the person who might occasionally peek market for info. The rest of EDG groups towards B main, quietly. 0 utility, 0 noise. Also, notice how around 125, nobody decides to split up to go back to AS Sova. It's basically the same protocol, rinse and repeated. If the defenders have the A line, you have to push them back to site if you want to end B. Otherwise, they're stacked B. Nobody scans Boo, pushes him back one line. But that's not enough pressure. They need to get pushed back all the way to site. Otherwise, they won't budge. To Boo's credit, he plays this area of the map extremely well. He starts off on the initial line, then moves to the elbow line. You have to force him off both of these angles for Team Heretics to really budge on their rotates. But nobody's aware of this. Now, you might be wondering why nobody's crosshair placement is high enough to headshot Titans. He's actually looking for this common Cypher cam. cautiously covering all his bases so his team can safely end B where they've had much success, and eventually does push Boo all the way back, slightly weakening the defensive setup. This is value you'll never see on your stats page.
Clear up the fog of war.
I think nobody's done a great job there of pushing Boo back twice. Once with the drone back into elbow, and then again to push him all the way back off A.
Then finally, when it's time to hit the site, they have a KO knife that lands back here to clear site and spawn area, as well as a Sova recon. A bit of an overinvestment of utility following up here after their initial info scanned nothing. Now they advance to establish crossfires in the back. Look at their setup. It's beautiful. Kankang and nobody crossed and spawn. KO can pivot to fight spawn or the market flood. Omen can peek with Chichu for market, or he can peek spawn. The trapwire maintains their flank, allowing them to fully zerg the site.
But Roy, you made a video saying how B spamming is OP. Why aren't they doing it here?
Well, true, but there are some nuance to this. Team Heretics has a raise rocket. If they fall back to main, they're going to struggle pretty hard holding the setup. They're much better off just trading out forward than to gamble the pulse plan spam in a crammed area. Also, a well-established crossfire is a great way to trade out Raze's ult, since she can't really multi-frag in a crossfire. Also, watch how well they play the bait and switch.
Stop.
On there.
They need an opening to feel that willingness, I think, to expend this ultimate here. Mini Boo! He's chopped down, cut down. Phantom spray by Kankang. Needs to be heroics, up and over with the flash. Whoop, at least taking out Kankang, but time is going to start ticking. The bait and switch setup just does not work. No.
It's perfect macro and micro from beginning to end. Remember the opener from last round, the A default util with Neon Wall? They've learned that Boo is constantly challenging in front of it, so they're ready to punish. Unfortunately for Mini Boo, he's the one that gets caught. After the initial pick, they just sit and wait, patiently waiting for their next victim. Sometimes the best thing to do once you have advantage is absolutely nothing. Team Heretics is desperate now, and EDG knows it.
It's broken. Flash to try and set this one up. That is a desperation play if I've ever seen one. You mentioned it, Josh. Best 4v5 win rate, but if you don't get that initial trade, which is so core to the way that Heretics play,
yep, then you're
going to be in trouble.
Much more difficult spot. That's why Rian's tried to equalize it there.
Yeah.
And now they're going to be in tough spots again.
Exploring, potentially. They're calling for it. Underhanded with the flash. There's too many targets to really deal with. Still that 1-for-1. And now space created and taken. Kankang not to be denied any sort and semblance of the side. Woot dodging, juking, but again this guy is relentless.
He's got them every impact kill in the round, Kankang. He's just been everywhere for EDG.
Cannot be stopped. Boo obtains the upgrade. Nails the first one. It's an obstacle removed, but two more where that came from. And Kankang, this guy, look at him.
It's been a PhD level masterclass from China's powerhouse so far. Surely it can't get any better from here, right? Right? It somehow does. A part of winning is about making the enemy feel uncomfortable. And if making people uncomfortable was a crime, EDG would have a life sentence in jail with this next round. It starts off with a delayed B default with a small twist. Omen and Cypher are together towards A. Huh, interesting. The KO knife scans nobody at B main again, so they stealth forward. Then they do this smoke to cut off vision from sight and drone. But what are they really looking for? Well, they want to know who's here and where they're playing. And they managed to do that. KO threw knife from back sight and Raze boombotted from market. Despite Woot's knife counter, they still managed to get the info. They re-smoke stairs on site. They decide to contact the only two possible spots they're being held from, jump up or market. They stun to pacify Baby Boo and market. Nobody walks into the default smoke, and they do a recon flash combo to fight the KO back sight. Kankang and Simon are waiting for Raze to swing off the contact.
What the fuck is happening, Roy?
Stop tweaking. EDG's at a massive ult disadvantage in this round. If they do a normal execute, they're gonna get counter-ulted by Raze and KO, significantly reducing their chances of winning. But if they can somehow contact into them without giving Team Heretics a clear signal to pop either ults, they could catch some of them before that happens.
Why are Cypher and Omen still at A then?
Well, keep watching. They managed to kill Boo and the Cypher ult for wall hacks. The spike gets dropped, they Omen ult to grab the spike across the map. Their endpoint was A all along. The brawl on B was a ruse. They wanted to assassinate the Razor KO, force trades and pull the rotators B. As long as they go even on the trades, this strategy is insane. It just happens to unfold favorably with EDG winning their trades at B and they get the contact kill at A at the same time. From there, it's fabricated chaos.
Tangled up, tied up. Benji Fishy is alone. He's isolated on a bloody island. And they want the kill.
To be even a shadow similar to Haven. Those rounds where the clock denied and EDG's attacks like Corlin looked dismal. This could not be more different.
It's looking like almost a clean sweep. And Benji, oh look.
I think the most impressive part of this for me isn't really the flashiness. It's EDG's ability to calculate on all these little micro details and execute on it perfectly. The only way for EDG to complete this doctorate degree in Valorant is to hit the set plays. Well, they have those too. Round starts. Neon wall. Sprints into elbow. A flash for the close fight. Same look we've seen before. Neon slide across and a deeper dart. A Sova ult to completely mop them. A K ult so they can't counter utility. And a crunch from lane. And perfect trades and spacing. It's beautiful. They end up finishing the half 11-1 and the map 13-4. We've seen EDG play slow. We've seen them play fast. We've seen X Factor and also world-class mid-rounding. And a godly level of macro and micro. And together, it was the recipe on how EDG became the most disrespectful team in VCT history. Not only defeating EMEA's best, but also NA's best. Considering this team is from a region that got the game almost 2 years after everyone else did, it's mind-blowing. And to the haters, let this be the proof that their win in Champ Seoul was not a fluke. And I would not be surprised to see them win another international in 2025. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this yap. I know I did.